Okay, so within the individual child's report area, then there is also the graph where basically you use your evidence to make a development judgment, a best fit development judgment. I want to stress that it's not formulaic, it's not the number of observations or the amount of outcomes that are selected. The practitioner has to make that judgment. Now, to do that, they'll select the assessment point that they're using, and the graph basically can be manipulated like so. The yellow marker denotes baseline if it's been entered. Now, how do we help you or inform that judgment is if you load your evidence overview below the graph, they are individual observations that you have taken for that child at the ages and stages. However, it's better than that because it gives you your evidence, yes, in the ages and stages, but it allows you to review that, to familiarise yourself with the child's development. Remembering that you could have 3 staff taking observations, so this will populate really quickly. Our system isn't about volume of observations, you'll get those. It's more about the quality of the ones that you actually publish. So if we select an icon, it will generate the observation, but perhaps crucially in its editable form. So that's an observation with multiple images. You can review it, but also you can improve or enrich that observation. You know, on reflection sometimes, a lot of times you can decide that the original observation didn't describe that child as well as it might have, particularly baseline observations when you're first getting to grips with the child. So that's how we review evidence. When you go to that intense half-termly observation, then basically we give you an even more detailed breakdown by going behind the graph per statement. So say if we were making a judgment on shape, space and measure, then where shape, space and measure appears, you'll see there's a plus symbol corresponding to each age and stage. This child is currently working at 30 to 50 secure, so we can review that, or we can look at the information we have for 40 to 60, which is the next age and stage. Now, you'll see again you've got the icons, so you can do the same thing. Blow up the observation, review and edit it. Also, while you're in here, this is where you're starting to think best fit and to use your practitioner judgment, your own knowledge of the child, because there is no expectation at all that each statement has to have a physical observation. That can be something you discuss with administrators, but certainly no expectation of that. This is where you use your own knowledge of the child. Basically, that is to say the child has evidenced that. You could do it once to say embedded, or you might use a system where emerging, developing, secure. That's entirely up to you. That will then generate in the evidence overview below and fill out the overall picture of the child's learning. Once you've reviewed the evidence, made your assessment judgments for each age and stage, up to that point that you've selected, you then save it, and then all your attainment and progress data for the child, but also for the group, the class, the entire setting, is instantly updated. So it's a live system. You can reflect on that immediately after saving that assessment judgment.